Live from KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Tonight, we're slowly learning more information about the weekend shooting of a San Antonio police officer and the death of her suspected shooter. The police department says the woman has a long road to recovery. Katrina Weber tells us that very little at this point is known about the suspect.
One of our officers shot multiple times.
With just 7 words, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus made the kind of announcement everyone in law enforcement dreads. An officer in her 20s had to be rushed into surgery yesterday morning after what turned into a shootout at the Icon Apartments. Police say she and 2 other officers were answering a domestic call around 3 a.m. at the Patricia Drive complex when a man in that apartment suddenly began firing a rifle. The chief says the officers fired back, killing the 25-year-old man. Today, the violence was visible in the shattered second-floor windows, but life all around there seemed to be moving past the trouble. Very few neighbors here speak English, but even in Spanish, they told me they didn't want to talk about this on camera. They say that they didn't know the man involved in the shooting. One neighbor says he believes that couple was fairly new here. A staffer confirmed the suspected shooter had moved in just a couple of months ago. Meanwhile, police say it could take a long time for the wounded officer to recover. In a statement today, SAPD said she is still being treated in the hospital, but is in good spirits. There's no word from police, though, on the names of anyone involved. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Its purpose is not to divide, but to end divisions. Divisions which have lasted all too long. Its purpose is national, not regional. This Civil Rights Act is a challenge to all of us to go to work in our communities and our states, in our homes and in our hearts, to eliminate the last vestiges of injustice in our beloved country.
That was President Lyndon Baines Johnson in 1964, right before he signed the Civil Rights Act. It is a sweeping legislation that basically takes discrimination on the basis of race, sex, religion, or national origin and makes it a federal offense. In the audience that day, as LBJ signed that act, Martin Luther King Jr., civil rights leader. It is the very reason, 60 years later, that President Joe Biden is here at the LBJ Presidential Library. This historic piece of legislation signed into law a little bit more than a year after John F. Kennedy first went on the air as president and said that we must, as Americans, come together to ensure equality for every American. What he started, LBJ made a reality. It is considered the cornerstone, the highlight of the LBJ administration. Striving to end segregation in public places, as well as ensure voting rights, as well as equal treatment for all Americans, things that he says are under attack right now. And that's part of the reason he put out the reforms he wants with the United States Supreme Court. President Joe Biden arrived today about 3 o'clock here in Austin. He left about 10 minutes ago from the library. And while his Supreme Court reforms have taken some of the attention away from this anniversary, the president was clear. He was here to speak about the monumental time in history and how that work is not done.
His philosophy was simple. In a great society, no one should be left behind. He'd say, it's time for us to come to see that every American gets a decent break and a fair chance to make good. And we're a better nation because of them. We must be clear. Their work, our work, is not done. It's not done. We do not celebrate these laws as part of our past, but as critical components of our future.
And by the way, many LBJ historians say his time as a teacher in the South Texas town of Cotulla and the poverty and inequality he saw there, major reasons why he picked up the mantle of civil rights after JFK was assassinated. They also say without LBJ, the Civil Rights Act likely doesn't get out of Congress. The impact of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 certainly not lost on Joe Biden. He pointed out the fact that he was the vice president for the first black president of the United States, and that his vice president, Kamala Harris, is now the nominee to be the first black woman president of the United States. The president, as I said, left here about 10 minutes ago. He's making his way to Houston to go to the public viewing of Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, also a staunch civil rights reporter. Coming up a little bit later in this newscast, Stephanie and I will do a Q&A and dive in a little bit deeper on the reforms that the President of the United States is proposing for the U.S. Supreme Court. Live in Austin at the LBJ Library, Steve Spriester, KSAT 12 News.
Steve, thank you for that. We look forward to seeing you at 6:30. So now we're going to shift our attention to former President Donald Trump. The FBI is reporting that the Republican nominee has agreed to a victim interview as part of the investigation into his assassination attempt. Now, these interviews are voluntary and a routine part of FBI criminal investigations. Special Agent Kevin Rojek heads up the FBI's Pittsburgh office, and he says that they want the former president's perspective the same way that they'd want to speak with the victim of any other crime.
We have contacted former President Trump, and he has agreed to participate in a victim interview. As part of our investigation, we examined over 2,100 tips from the public through our digital media tip line, including images, videos, documents, and audio recordings.
While that interview process moves along, investigators are uncovering more information about the would-be assassin. Agents say that records show the 20-year-old searched, quote, how far away was Oswald from Kennedy, in reference to the assassination of J.F. Kennedy, and also looked up the assassination of, or the attempted assassination of the Slovakian prime minister earlier this year. Investigators say at this point his family is cooperating with law enforcement. Back here at home over the weekend, 2 teens were arrested and charged with the murder of an 80-year-old woman who was killed by a stray bullet as she was leaving a graduation ceremony back in May. Today, we found out that those 2 teens are brothers, and while one sits at the Bexar County Jail that you see here in this picture, the other one, who hasn't been identified, was in juvenile court this morning. Now, that 16-year-old that's unidentified, the reason that it's that way is because he's a minor. He appeared in front of Judge William Cruz Shaw, and that teen, along with his 19-year-old brother, Jacob Rios, are accused of being in a shootout back in May. Police believe that the shots fired by the brothers are what struck 80-year-old Heidi Silkworth, who got caught right in that crossfire. Silkworth had been leaving a graduation ceremony at the Alamodome when she was hit. The 16-year-old today spoke with Judge William Cruz Shaw and told him that he didn't have a gun when that crime took place.
I was there at the wrong place at the wrong time, and I did not want to be there. I was about to leave. I really just want to go back to school and start school, get myself together. I was looking for jobs already, and I just want to help my family.
So Judge Shaw denied the request to let the teen out on GPS monitoring. He's going to be back in court for another detention hearing in August. As for his brother, Rios, he remains in the Bexar County Jail awaiting his first court appearance. In other news now, a 5 to 10-year rain event. That is what one Kerrville city official called the 7 inches of rain that led to flooding last week. But as our John Paul Barajas shows us from Kerrville tonight, what a difference a week makes. John Paul, he told you that the city hasn't seen this kind of flooding since 2018.
Stephanie, that's right. Since 2018, and right now it's a night and day difference from last Tuesday to today, and plenty of people are back to normal, enjoying Louise Hayes Park and the Guadalupe River. We saw some people in floats a few minutes ago. I'm extremely jealous of them beating the heat with the nice water. But right where I'm standing, I'm told that last week water was as high as 2 feet right here. I'll take a look at some of the Facebook video from that day. You can get a sense of just how strong and fast that water is moving and how much area it covers, completely taking over the park. Stuart Barron with Kerrville Public Works says that made quite the mess for city crews.
We have an idea of the damages that the city has felt, whether that was city property or just residents.
I don't have a good number for residential type property on the city side. A lot of what ours was cleaning up debris. We get a lot of stuff in the parks and things like that, down trees, brush, things that need to get cleaned up out of the parks and taken away. Also, our storm drains, all the inlets have to be cleaned.
And Barron says right now the river is flowing about double the rate it typically does this time of year. And although the floodwaters have cleared out, he says there is still lots of work to be done. We'll have that for you coming up tonight at 10. In Kerrville, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
JP, thank you. And as we look ahead to this week, I can't help but look back and think, wow, we had temperatures in the 80s last week, and this week it all changes.
Yes, it all changes. More typical pattern for this time of year. But even today, we were a little below average in the afternoon, that is. Our high temperature was 94. That's 2 degrees below average. The record today, 104, set back in 2017, just several years ago. Made it to 100 in Cotulla, Laredo, and Del Rio. But even, in the typically warmer spots out west, not all that bad for this time of year. Going forward, over the next 7 days, we're going to be anywhere from 96 to 98 for afternoon highs. I'll talk more about the rainfall, the recent rain we've seen, and how it compares to years past in just a bit.
From the rains to the roads. Right now, we want to give you a live look at our roads at this hour, 6:09. What you're looking at is a live look at I-10 and Frio. And we need to know that there was some kind of a minor accident there. There's also some construction in that area. And what's happening is it is slowing traffic down. Something like 3 lanes are blocked at this hour. So that's why the traffic looks a little bit backed up right there, but nothing too serious to worry about now. In other news now, colon cancer screenings could get a lot easier now. The Food and Drug Administration just approving the first ever blood test that detects colorectal cancer. It's 88% effective in finding cancer in stages 1, 2, and 3. It's actually meant for adults older than 45 who are at average risk for the disease. It's expected to launch within the next week. And I know you're thinking, okay, how much is this going to cost me? Well, if you have Medicare, we're told that it meets the requirements for Medicare reimbursement. And as for people with private insurance plans, that's going to vary. Happening later on this week, it's a special edition of Doc Talk. This week, we want your questions on back to school health as we get the kiddos ready. So scan the QR code that you see on your screen and submit questions that you have about your child's health before they head on back to the classroom. And then we'll take those questions to a local pediatrician. Very efficient. KSAT 12's Doc Talk airs every Thursday at 6:30. So send in your questions. Question now, do you remember your first summer job and how awesome it felt to get your first paycheck? You remember that freedom, right? Now, a group of Bernie ISD students experienced that this summer at their very own school district. We'll tell you what they did and how this is different, maybe, from the summer jobs that you and I had. It's coming up.
Legacies living on through the San Antonio area aviation community. Coming up tonight in the Night Beat, we're remembering the 2 lives lost during a plane crash 1 year ago and showing you how a scholarship is now open and accepting applications in one of their names.
I want you to take a walk down memory lane for a second. Do you remember your first job? Do you remember what it felt like when you got your first paycheck? Well, 20 Bernie ISD students felt that. They got a special summer job, many of them for the first time. This was part of the district's paid internship program. So we want you to meet Truett and Evan, 2 of the students who participated in this program. They learned new skills. They also explored different career paths.
There's not really any shops that do painting rooms or mixing concrete or figuring out how breakers work or what they do, or changing oil in a car. And that's good stuff to learn because it's just good life skills to have.
This is really my first job, so I'm just kind of learning what I like and what I want to do for work, as well in the type of environment I want to work for.
It makes sense because how else do you know until you try it, right? Well, the Bernie ISD has been giving its students this opportunity for years, and guess what? It's ready to welcome new kids next summer. Wish that more of our school districts would do that. Another thing that those Bernie ISD students are doing right now is getting ready for their return to school. So if you need help with that too, no matter where you are, scan the QR code at the bottom of your screen because we have an entire web article dedicated to those back to school events and giveaways that are happening now until the first day of school. Just scan that QR code right there. It's also on our website, ksat.com. Now we want to give you a live look outside. Yeah, this is not back to school weather right now. 6:16 right now, 93 degrees. Nice skies up there, and it just makes me wonder about those rain chances.
Yeah, unfortunately, they've dried up for the most part. A few little opportunities in the days ahead, and that's about it. And that's not until next Sunday. But the rain was good to us. We're going to get to that and have a comparison here in a moment. I want to give you our main headlines first of all. The heat high, it's back, and that means high temperatures mid to upper 90s, which is average for this time of year. Our average high right now is 96, and as we get into August, it rises to 97. Rain, minimal chances, and that's not until Sunday and Monday. Dust, a noticeable plume, will be here by midweek on Wednesday. Now take a look at our rainfall San Antonio International Airport since July 1st. So we're talking month-to-date rain, 4 1/4 inches. That's almost 2 inches above average. Since January 1st, so year-to-date, we've had 19.45, and that's an inch above average. It's good to be talking about a surplus and not how big the deficit is. And remember, this is just at San Antonio International Airport, our official climate site for San Antonio. By this date, year to date last year, we had just about 13 inches of rain. So we're significantly higher than that. And it was even drier year to date back in 2022 with only 5 inches of rain by late July. Obviously, it was a surplus in 2021. That was a good year. Aquifer has responded. I just looked at the numbers, did the math over the last 10 days. It's up 8.5 feet. So we've had some good rain over the recharge zone and the contributing zone, and it's helped out a lot. And we've put another dent in our drought, and the new drought monitor will be out on Thursday. Just a 20% chance Sunday and Monday, so we're looking at pretty slim rain chances. The overall pattern is what's doing it. The upper level high, the big blue H, the dry high, planted right overhead, and it's going to really be the dominant feature for several days going forward. Now, by the weekend, it pushes a little farther to the northwest of Texas, still influencing our weather, but if we could get a little ripple or disturbance in the flow to move in from North Texas, we could see some showers and storms. And that would be Sunday on into Monday, but no big scale factors that would lead us to good rain chances. Out in the tropics, we've got one little area the Hurricane Center has flagged, and that's this little cluster of thunderstorms very close to South America. That's going to be heading to the northwest toward the Bahamas and parts of northern Caribbean over the next 7 days with, right now it stands at about a 50% chance of developing in the next tropical system. We also have dust out there. It's thick over the Gulf of Mexico. That denser plume of noticeable haze will be here first thing Wednesday morning. So you'll notice the hazy sunshine Wednesday and Thursday, but then it thins out and we actually have some clearer air moving in by Friday and into the upcoming weekend. So just a brief stint of the extra haze in the sky from that dust for the middle part of the week, Wednesday, Thursday. Tomorrow, 78 in the morning, 88 at noon, 96 the high, a noticeable southeasterly wind at 10 to 20. This is more typical for this time of year. Sabinal 98, Comfort 94 tomorrow, Floresville, high temperature of 95. And we'll be anywhere from 96 to 98 going forward. And coming up at 6:45, I'll have more of a temperature comparison this year compared to this time last year. Quite a contrast, to say the least.
Okay, looking forward to that. You know, this is the point and time of the year where we're all kind of starting with a clean slate, right? The kiddos are going to start back to school. There's Cowboys training camp. That's where our friend Larry Ramirez is joining us now live from Oxnard, California. So, yeah, fresh start, and that's what Jake Ferguson is thinking, right?
Yeah, so Jake Ferguson is coming off a Pro Bowl season, but he wants to go above and beyond that. I mean, this guy wants to be super great. And speaking of that, when it comes to tight ends, he looks up to some of the greats past and present. Plus, DeMarvion Overshown is on the comeback trail. Mary Rominger will have that when we come back.
Stories you've ever weighed?
No. I was pretty big at Wisconsin at 1 year. Yeah, little beer belly, but not anymore.
Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson is up to 255 pounds this season from 240 last and says the heavier weight just suits him better as we go camping with KSAT. It's a quiet day here at Dallas Cowboys training camp because the boys are off. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome live to Oxnard, California, as we continue to cover Cowboys training camp. Now, when the team returns tomorrow, they're going to put on pads for the very first time, and that's when things will get super exciting. All right, let's talk about Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson. The third-year pro is coming off a Pro Bowl season, and he's not satisfied with that, saying he wants to get even better and make the same jump as he did from year 1 to year 2. Last season, he had 71 receptions for 761 yards receiving and 5 touchdowns. He was second on the team in receiving yards last season behind C.D. Lamb, who's holding out for a new long-term extension. The self-proclaimed Big Biscuit, Ferguson is one of the better tight ends in the NFL and was asked what other tight ends does he watch and model himself after.
The first name that obviously comes to mind is Travis. The dude's a baller, dude's a great teacher, dude's, he's a technician. And you see it throughout every single game, every season he's playing. And, just doing that, trying to replicate a little bit of that, but also knowing, hey, I'm not Travis Kelce. I got my own game I got to focus on, might be more in the trenches, might be more here or there. Someone I really like to look at is old film is Jeremy Shockey, just as a dude, as a baller. That's why I try to model it after and pick a little bit off of him.
Shockey was a beast back in the day. Let's bring in Mary Rominger now to talk about 2023 third-round draft pick DeMarvion Overshown, who suffered an ACL tear back in August that caused him the entire season.
Yeah, and now, Larry, Overshown's appreciation and love for the game of football has reached new heights after his highly anticipated debut season was cut short. It ended before it could even begin. The East Texas native used his time, though, away from football to get stronger, adding 6 pounds with significantly more lean mass than what he had last year coming out of UT. As training camp ramps up, Overshown will be easing into full participation as he is still limited coming off of his injury. He doesn't know how much time he'll get on the field when the team puts on pads for the first time tomorrow, but Overshown is feeling confident in his return.
No pressure at all. They drafted me where they drafted me for a reason, and I already had that chip on my shoulder that I want to be another guy on the defense, not just a guy, but I want to be another guy that's out there making a play. So, I'm putting that all on me. They want me to take my time, come back when I'm ready, but I'm expecting big things out of myself. I told everybody that I was going to be able to share my testimony once I got back out here.
Now, Overshown is joining a fully rebuilt linebacker core. New additions are Willie Harvey Jr., who led the UFL in tackles in this spring, rookie third-rounder Maris Leafau, and, of course, veteran linebacker Eric Hendricks.
Thank you very much, Mary. So in Spurs news today, the team signed rookie Harrison Ingram to a 2-way contract. So we'll have more Cowboys and Texans tonight on the Night Beat. Mary, I'm Larry. Let's send it back to the studio.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you on the Night Beat tonight. Now, Steve Spriester, we're going to go back out live to our friend Steve Spriester, who's joining us live from Austin to answer a few questions about Joe Biden's visit to Austin today on the anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We'll be right back after the break. Welcome back, my friends. It's a big day. President Joe Biden was in Austin today, marking 60 years since the Civil Rights Act passed. Our Steve Spriester is there right now, where the president spoke at the LBJ Presidential Library. So, Steve, we'll start here. Hello, nice to see you.
Hi. By the way, Stephanie, I wanted to a little tidbit here. If you've ever had to deal with Austin traffic, I guarantee you it is not as bad as it was today. The president left here about 5:50 to make his way to the airport in a motorcade. We could hear the sirens. The streets are shut down. I guarantee you this is one of the worst all-time Austin rush hours.
So Austin got more Austin-y. Thank you. So we'll go from here. So we know that the president today spoke about reforming the U.S. Supreme Court. How did he connect the dots between that and the Civil Rights Act?
Yeah, it was interesting because we heard he was going to do that, and we were kind of wondering how he would connect those dots. And it was interesting because he basically said that what was passed in 1964, he believes this current court has had a part in dismantling, has had a part in taking away things like abortion rights and DEI initiatives, diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives. And that is why he called for the reforms that he called for, one of which is term limits, 18 years. They'll be appointed by a president every 2 years. A new justice will be. That's the term limit part. There's also a code of conduct, what is accepted and what is not. Now, they already have that in the Supreme Court, but this one actually has some teeth to it, so they can enforce it, so they can be held accountable. And then the third thing that he talked about was a constitutional amendment that he wants passed that basically points out the fact that no president has all immunity. No president of the United States is above the law, which is something that's exact opposite of what the Supreme Court ruled on, just a couple of months ago.
Now, this is a big thing, him talking about reforming the U.S. Supreme Court. He just has a few months left in office, not something you'd typically expect from a so-called lame duck president.
It was interesting because he brought up the fact that Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said that this Supreme Court reforms are dead on arrival. Joe Biden called that thinking dead on arrival, which is very interesting. And they've also made it very clear that they did not make these decisions on their own, that Vice President Kamala Harris actually had an active role in shaping some of these reforms and exactly what President Biden would like to see done. Obviously, probably won't happen before he's done in office, but he's hoping a Harris administration can carry on, much like, I guess you could say, LBJ carried on the legacy of John F. Kennedy with the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Now, since you mentioned the presumptive Democratic nominee, Kamala Harris, did he mention anything else about her and her candidacy specifically?
It was interesting because he seemed to go out of his way to talk about the fact that he is behind her, he is proud of her, he is fully endorsing her to be the next Democratic nominee and to be the next president of the United States. He did not shy away from that at all. He was very full-throated in his support of Kamala Harris today.
Okay, now final question for you here, Spree. So we know this is the president's first speech since he gave that Oval Office address saying that he was officially stepping down. Now that he is out of that game, out of the 2024 running, did he seem energized to you at all? Because we all know the attacks against him have been attacking his energy throughout the campaign. And now what did you see?
I'm going to be honest, I didn't notice a change in his energy necessarily from speeches that I've seen him before, but I did notice an energy in the crowd. When he came out, it was a standing ovation, a lot of hooping and hollering. He had to quiet down the crowd. I think a lot of people in the auditorium today wanted to show their appreciation for the fact that he was a great president, in their opinion, and they wanted to pay tribute to the man. And so I'm curious if that's going to happen more and more in some of these public appearances that we see, that people kind of see this as maybe a chance to pay tribute to the man who currently holds the Oval Office.
Got a little more than 5 months left, Steve. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later on, my friend.
Yep, I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll have a report coming up on the Night Beat tonight at 10.
Yes, thank you. Now, for you, we want you to stick around because an Oklahoma couple has lived to tell the tale of survival after being rescued from sea off of the Texas coast. It's an amazing story. You're going to hear it, and also how they were found. It's next on the News at 6. Welcome back. The Biden administration now rolling out a new aid package for Ukraine. It's going to cost around $1.7 billion and mostly consist of missiles and ammunition for defense systems that the war-torn country has already been given by the U.S. government. Now, the Defense Department says the U.S. is going to continue to work with other key partners to ensure that Ukraine has everything it needs to continue fighting off the Russian invasion. Over in New Jersey, the state's attorney general's office is investigating a woman's death at the hands of a police officer. This was in Fort Lee. Police there were called to an apartment complex early Sunday morning by a man who told them that his sister was having a mental health crisis and was holding a knife. Now, when officers got there, two women shut the door to the unit, and after getting that doorway open, police say one of those women left the unit and went into the hallway before being shot. ABC News is reporting that it's unclear at this point if the woman that was killed was holding the knife when she was shot. Police haven't released any information about the woman who died or the officer who shot her. An Oklahoma couple living to tell the tale of being stranded right off the Texas coast. I can't believe this. ABC's Andrea Fuji spoke with the pair who were calling it a miraculous rescue at sea.
This morning, a couple from Oklahoma opening up about the scuba diving disaster that nearly killed them.
I was swimming with everything I had to get her back to the line, and we got her to the line, and I just was within arm's reach. I just couldn't get it.
Nathan and Kim Maker were diving with a group off the Texas coast when bad weather hit.
The rain was so hard that you couldn't see outside, and the winds were just atrocious. The waves were atrocious.
The rough water knocking another diver off the guideline. Nathan instantly diving down to help. Amid the confusion, Nathan and Kim, both experienced divers, were swept away from their group and their boat. The Coast Guard launched a full search within hours of their disappearance. The couple saying they could hear the planes overhead as they tried to stay warm.
Because our body temperatures were dropping, we needed to keep swimming or we probably would have frozen to death. So he made it into a game and he was, 1, 2, 3 amigos, and we would kick for a little while.
After nearly 2 full days at sea, Nathan and Kim were finally spotted bobbing in the water, signaling SOS with their flashlights. They had spent 38 hours waiting to be rescued. Nathan, who's diabetic, was dangerously close to slipping into a coma. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
There are so many parts of this story that I still have more questions about. 38 hours out at sea. Wow, just incredible. I'm just happy that they were also able to keep their spirits up while they were out there. But wow. Okay, 93 degrees out there right now. One thing's clear. Whatever you were doing last week to prepare for the week, that's not what you're going to be doing this week, right?
Well, and last week at this time, we were tracking showers and downpours, and then tomorrow, especially by tomorrow, last week, we were having heavy rainfall, especially in the hill country where we had 7 to 10 inches of rain in parts of the hill country. Good drought denting rain. We're going to have a little comparison temperature-wise of this year to the past few years, our 100-degree day count, and what you can expect, of course, going forward in just a bit.
Now for a look at some of today's top headlines in our 60-second recap. The officer that was shot while responding to a domestic violence call early yesterday morning is still in the hospital recovering from the injuries. We're also waiting to hear more about the man that was killed in that incident. Officers have yet to tell us his identity or give us any information on his background. And up in Northern California, 100 Texas firefighters and other emergency resources are on the way to help get a hold of the park fire that's there. That wildfire has scorched through an area larger than Los Angeles. And listen to this, it's still only 12% contained. We know that 2,000 people have had to evacuate their homes because of that blaze, and air quality experts or alerts are being sent all over the Pacific Northwest and Western Canada because of this fire. Also, this goes for people in Uvalde. July is Healthy Vision Month, and the Our Health Center on Evans Road near West Main Street in Uvalde is offering free vision screenings to commemorate it. If you missed your chance today, don't worry, because you can get your free vision screenings tomorrow morning starting at 9 through 3 in the afternoon. This is on a first-come, first-served basis, so you don't have to sign up. You just show up. So for the last hour or hour and a half, our friend Adam Caskey has been telling us that he's going to give us some comparisons between the weather this year and the weather last year. And I can't help but think it is so that before we complain about the heat, we'll remember this. We'll get perspective, right?
Yeah, some perspective for sure. And overall, it hasn't been very bad. And, I have to be honest, too. I went due north this weekend up to the Marble Falls area, and it was green. Mm-hmm. It was very green. It was good to see how green everything was, especially for July, late July, almost early August. And the pastures and all the fields had green grass, probably almost knee deep in some spots, but generally, halfway up your calf. It was good to see that. Anyway, let's get to the temperatures and a bit of a comparison here. We've had 12 100-degree days so far this year. And remember how back in May, when our heat started, we were upper 90s and even hit 100 a few times? Everybody's asking the question, what does that mean about the summer? And our response was, it has absolutely no bearing on the summer. And well, clearly we haven't been that hot so far this summer. 1,200 degree days. By this time last year, it was 33. By this time 2 years ago, it was 49 100 degree days. And this is going to be a lot to take in on the screen, but it's a comparison for every day from July 10th through today. Last year's high temperatures, almost all of them, all but one day, was 100 degrees or more. This year, the warmest we've been in that stretch is 99 for a high temperature, with the lowest high temperature at 85, and actually several days spent in the 80s. So that comparison is really, really noticeable here, and quite a contrast. And we can thank this damp pattern. But now we have the upper level high, the heat high, back in place. It's not significant in terms of its strength and how hot it's going to get. We're not talking triple digits around here. But you can see the high temperature trend. You look at the high temperatures today across the nation, and it's more July-like. We actually made it to 94 in San Antonio. That's the update. But even 93 in Pierre, South Dakota, 93 in Washington, D.C., 100 Wichita, El Paso making it to 102 today. Going forward, our highs in the afternoon, the warmest we'll get around 4 or 5 p.m., between 96 and 98. And the average high is 96. As we get into August, the average high goes up to 97, which, climatologically speaking, is the warmest part of the year for us here in San Antonio. Just those fair weather patchy cumulus clouds, especially earlier today. Yesterday, we had a few downpours. It was good to see. The airport had an actually daily record of rain of over an inch. But now we've got the upper level heat high in place, and that's going to have the grip on our weather pattern and keep us high and dry. You look at the rainfall potential, generally speaking, over the next 7 days, and we have that donut hole right over most of Texas again, whereas you see on the outskirts of that high, that's where the action is, especially northern U.S. and along the East Coast. Little area of cluster of thunderstorms that's very weak right now, but it's heading northwestward from the central Atlantic toward the Caribbean and even the Bahamas. And as it does so, it's going to get into an environment a little more favorable for tropical development. So there's a 40 to 60% chance of that developing into a tropical cyclone over the next week. Just something to watch. And if there's anything that would head our way, of course, we'd let you know. Dust is moving in. You're going to notice that dust by Wednesday. Wednesday morning, the dust will be very noticeable. And that's when you're going to notice it by Wednesday morning. Looking ahead, that hazy sunshine Wednesday and Thursday from the dust. 20% chance of storms only Sunday, Monday.
Okay. Nice look at that. Now we're going to be buzzing, right?
We're buzzing together.
We're buzzing together after the break. Stick around. We'll start right here. 27-year-old Peter Knabb has not let cerebral... There we go.
You got the touch.
There we go. He has not let cerebral palsy keep him from pursuing his goal to visit all 30 Major League Baseball stadiums. He's a Cleveland Guardians fan, and he recently visited number 29, which is Citizens Bank Park over in Philadelphia. That trip also fell on the 34th anniversary of the Americans with Disabilities Act, which made public spaces and transportation more accessible. So cool that he got to see that.
And he's now raising money to help him complete his quest, visiting American Family Field in Milwaukee when Cleveland plays the Brewers next month, the Brew Crew. All right, Sabarino Bari might look like just a normal, 12-year-old. More of a Doogie Howser type, though, when actually he's anything but a normal 12-year-old. The Long Island tween just graduated high school and will head to NYU this fall to double major in math and physics. Not easy majors. He's always been ahead of the schedule, and his parents are teachers, too, starting him at a young age. And kids, if you don't know Doogie Howser, look it up.
Yeah, I know. That's another reference that I'm like, ooh, you just aged yourself. All right. So he says he wants to spread the love of learning when he gets old enough to have a job. He also noted that he's eyeing a run for president, which he will be eligible for in 2048. I also read that this kid wants to be a teacher just like his parents.
Oh,
so
that's nice.
He can give back to his community. Okay.
I could see him helping us get a person on Mars, the first human on Mars.
Oh,
I could see that with that physics and math. Anyway.
Now, finally, in Arizona, a startling discovery of foul play under a police officer's patrol car. The eagle-eyed deputy was working on a construction site and spotted the eagle. You're about to see it right under his vehicle. Turns out the eagle was a juvenile that was separated from its mommy.
Yeah, separated from his mom. The bird was in distress, so deputies carefully collected it, put it inside the cool car to cool it off in the AC, and called the state's Raptor Center.
Yeah, as it rested there in the air-conditioned car. But look at that mug. We'll be right back. It's been so much fun being with you for the last hour. Have a nice dinner break, and we'll see you right back here on The Night Beat.